Truth does not have to have permission to speak. And this is a new chapter in truth telling, but history does not always arrive politely. Sometimes it crashes through the door, carried on the back of a single dangerous truth. When Trevor spoke, he did not speak only to Jamaica. He spoke to Africa, America, to every black nation, every island, every son, daughter of the diaspora who have watched leaders trade people's pain for personal privilege. They called it disrespect and insult to sovereignty. But the fury was not about his message. It was about the mirror that he showed themselves in. Because Trevor had dared to reflect the truth that too many pretend not to see. He said leadership is not a throne, it is a responsibility. He said corruption is not culture, it is betrayal. He said no nation can afford to turn corruption into its operating system. And those words burn because they were true. Not just in Kingston, but in Washington, Accra, Lagos, Port of Spain, all over the world, every capital where power feeds itself while the people starve. He did not insult Jamaica. He defended it. He defended all of us. He spoke words our ancestors died for us to say. That the truth is not disrespect. That honesty is not treason. That silence in the face of injustice is the real crime. And when we refused to apologize, the world held its breath. But truth does not bow to deadlines. He did not insult Jamaican people. He spoke for them. If telling the truth has become a crime, then the world is in trouble. I will apologize for standing with the people, because what he said in Jamaica was a new chapter in truth-telling for all over the world. He spoke what the oppressed have been enduring for centuries: racial division, economic death, and the betrayal of public trust. He tore away the polite curtain that hides domestic rulers in Jamaica, Africa, and America, and all over the world who use people's money for their own benefit while preaching patriotism. Isn't that what happened in America? We elect people who swear to serve but end up serving themselves. They climb into office for self-gratification, not sacrifice. They master the art of distraction, keeping us fighting over color, party, and creed while they quietly feast on our labor. And don't let me forget, they put their hand on a Bible that they gave to us and swore that that was what we should live by. But they put their hand on it and they lie by. So you let me know where the problem is of you not being able to see the truth. Are we too scared to speak? Are we dared that we speak, too conditioned to bow before the very systems that profit from our silence? Dare we wait from Kingston to Chicago, Dakar to Detroit? The story is the same. The people are told to wait for justice, for reform, wait for mercy from those who have never known hunger. But the world is done waiting. Trevor's defiance became the spark. From Kingston's market to Harlem streets, from Ogadugu to Atlanta, a truth began to rise, one that has no ultimatum that could be killed. Because the real confrontation was never between two men. It was between truth and pretense, between awakening and obedience. And across the diaspora, people recognize themselves in that fight. In Jamaica, the people began to speak louder than Parliament. Placards read, "Truth is not disrespect. Apology, no. Accountability, yes. Apology won't build hospitals. Truth needs no permission." And that cry spread from beyond the Caribbean to the American dream. A dream built on the labor of the silence. It whispered through the classrooms where children were taught half histories. It echoed through the halls of power where decisions are made for profit, not us. This was never about one leader. It was about the world we've allowed to fester, where truth is punished and corruption is awarded. These leaders speak of sovereignty but kneel to foreign banks, where people are divided by design because unity would end the game. But something has shifted. For the first time in a long time, people are listening, the youth are awake, and the silence is cracking. The echo of one man's courage has turned into a chorus of defiance. Yes, the government may continue its show, issuing statements, holding summons, pretending to control the narrative. But outside those marble walls, the people have remembered their power. Civil society is louder. The press is bolder. Youth are fearless. Diaspora is connected. The truth is walking amongst us again, and the truth has no apology, because this is not just about Jamaica, Africa, not even about politics. It's about us, the children of a scattered history, standing up to say that our silence ends today, but the truth endures forever. And every generation reaches a moment where it must choose between comfort and conscience, between submission and awakening. Jamaica, Africa, America, for every descendant of the diaspora who still believes in the promise of freedom, this is that moment. Let the powerful tremble. Let the corrupt squirm. Let the truth rise, because truth does not bow, and truth has no apology for no one. When Trevor spoke, he did not speak only to Africa. He spoke to Africa and America and all over this world. He spoke to every black nation, every child of the diaspora whose dignity has been stolen, whose leaders have sold their birthright for power and profit. Inside Jamaica's parliament, chaos followed. Some shouted about sovereignty, others about disrespect. But the truth, the real truth, was the fury wasn't about what he said. It was about who dared to say it. Because Ibrahim Traore had simply said aloud what so many people already knew: corruption is not governance. It is the slow death of a soul, a nation's soul. He said leadership is not a throne, it is a responsibility. He said government that enriches itself while its people suffer is not a government at all. He said Jamaica, like so many nations across Africa, the Caribbeans, and the Americas, cannot afford to turn corruption into its operating system. Those were not insults. Those were mirrors. Mirrors make powerful men uneasy. But while politicians raised, the people stirred. Okay? Kingston to Montego Bay, Dakar to Accra, Harlem to the port of Spain, the truth began to echo on the street corners and classrooms and radio stations and living rooms. People repeated his words because they recognized something in themselves. He had not shamed Jamaica. He had defended her. He had defended all of us. Traore refused to apologize. He stood before the world and said the truth does not bow to deadlines. I did not insult the Jamaican people. I spoke for them. In telling the truth, if telling the truth has become a crime, then the world is in trouble. I will not apologize for standing with my people, with the people. And with that, the ultimatum died, but the movement was born, because the people were not angry at Traore, they were angry at home. In Jamaica, the streets began to speak louder. Placards read, "Truth is not disrespect. Apology, no. Accountability, yes. Apology won't build hospitals. Truth needs permission." and the cry was not Jamaica's alone.